What's up, Blair Bears? We're back, honey, with another episode of Spaced Out with Blair Socci. That's me, bitch. It is my absolute goddamn honor to be back with you today. I just love you guys so much. And I know I say this every podcast, but like this has become such an amazing thing that I love so much. And I just love doing this. I love connecting with you all. I'm just so grateful. And the team like I'm working with, MIK, Creative, Amelia, Rosh, Adam, producer Nick, and now Mr. Kata at the cave in the great Los Angeles. Like, I am so blessed, bitch. Thank you, God. Okay, so today I'm so excited to do this episode. I was thinking about it, especially with the extreme tumult of last year, which, you know, I'm speaking about a lot. I'm still processing, but, you know, I was basically in the deepest fog I've ever experienced. And now, like, I'm coming up on a year of my brother's death in a few months, and I'm starting to see what life looks like after experiencing a loss like that. And you know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about Valentine's Day, bitch. So this is the Valentine's Day episode. And if you're not a fan of Valentine's Day, I urge you to hear me out, my arguments for it. And I know you're shocked as hell. I know you're shocked to the gods, baby, that I'm talking about Valentine's Day, that I love Valentine's Day, that it's my favorite holiday as someone who is mostly perpetually single by choice. Hee hee. Okay, so first, also, before we get started, I was thinking about I had to shout out these 4 young girl comedians I met at the Lyric Hyperion a week ago. I don't know if they're listening to this, but I walked in the green room early for my show because, you know, I'm chronically early. Like, I can't even help it except for the last 2 days because I haven't slept. And I walk in like 30 minutes early for my show, and these girls had just finished their show, and I didn't know any of them, but they all came up to me, you girls, if you're listening, and spoke to me. Like, I just assume nobody knows who I am ever. It's crazy. Like, I don't expect people to know who I am, like, anywhere I go. And I'm a very confident, secure person. It's just that, like, I don't make those type of assumptions inherently. I don't know why. But they all came up to me and individually said the nicest things to me. And I'm still so raw that, like, anytime someone's nice to me, I basically tear up. You know, I'm insanely sensitive. And I was like, my eyes were watering. They were so sweet. Like, it was such an honor to meet them. And, like, I just love women so much. And to think that, like, I have had any impact on, like, younger girls in comedy was just shocking to me. And it was just so sweet, and it meant the world to me. And I enjoyed meeting them so much. And, like, if I could impact or help any younger girl in my business, like, nothing is more satisfying or means more to me. Because I know when I was a young comic, and any older comic that I respected or liked was nice to me or took the time to talk to me, it meant so much to me. It really meant so much to me because, like, you study these people when you're younger, and I don't know. It was just so cool. So if you girls are listening, I fucking love you bitches, okay? Godspeed. I wish you so much luck, and I hope I run into you more. And if you need anything, just hit me up, bitch, okay? I got you. Now we go in, as we like to start every episode, with the Freako Fact of the Week. That's right. Okay, I just found out that during World War II, Japan bombed China with fleas infected with the bubonic plague. That is genius, but also so savage. Like, warlock shit, you know? Like, humans as a species are just beyond savage. I don't know. And it's like, we nuked Japan. We literally, like, obliterated them with nuclear bombs. Japan, like, us nuking Japan, these people bombing them with fleas, like, being bombed with fleas, like, is so miserable. And then to think there was bubonic plague in these fleas, like how many people in China were wiped out about this? I didn't have enough time to research, but I'm really wondering, and I will absolutely be researching it later because I have not heard about the bubonic plague in China as a result from Japanese infected disease warfare fleas. So I wonder if you guys have heard about that. That's really crazy. And so anyways, it's really dark. It's really dark. Human beings are really dark species, and I hope we as a species find peace soon. I hope we can find peace in all of our hearts and not freaking kill our neighbors. Ugh! Anyways, I'm very sorry to open this episode about Valentine's Day with this existential crisis. Like, I really do apologize. Just I didn't know that happened, and I'm simultaneously surprised and horrified by the level of creativity of this specific act of war. Okay, moving on. Let's not talk about blasting people with the bubonic plague, okay? And through fleas. Ugh, disgusting. You see a flea, they're like, ugh, ugh, ugh. Anyways, this is about Valentine's Day. That's what you guys came here for. And I'll start this because, you know, a lot of people hate Valentine's Day, but I hate when people call it a capitalist holiday because to me, it's about celebration, which we need built-in days of celebration of love and care in this society, especially in this ultra-capitalist society where we just work ourselves to the bone trying to survive and forget about living and creating special moments of connection. Like, you know, I'm fully guilty of this too, except for that also not because I'm so deeply engaged with all my girlfriends who are the most beautiful people in the world and like such nourishing relationships to me and my family that I love so much. I'm actually not disconnected. I'm very active participant in my relationships. But what I'm trying to fucking say is, like, to me, Valentine's Day is about celebration, not about gifts. It's like all about, and like gifts are really nice. Like I love giving gifts to people, but to distill it down to that is way too reductive. And it just sounds like, I don't know, it's like men who don't want anything. You don't have to go out to a restaurant on Valentine's Day. You could go the day before or not, or just cook at home. It's just about showing people how special they are to you. Like letting people know before, when any of us can die at any second, like that is something that has really changed my perspective. Like whatever you want to say to anyone, say it. You don't know when that's going to be your last day or their last day. If you love people, show them as much as you can. Tell them as much as you can what they mean to you. You know what I mean? So anyways, to me, it's not about gifts at all. It's not about spending money. It's like just writing a really deeply thoughtful handwritten card or driving to a beautiful view or just spending quality focused time together without screens. I just think it's like really beautiful and sweet. And I hate when people look down on romance. Like I can't date someone who's not extremely romantic because I'm extremely romantic. That is why I choose to not be in a relationship very often, because people call it a Disney view or whatever, that Disney like ruined my mind or planted like an unrealistic idea of relationships in me. But no, like I just believe romance is being intentional, and I'm extremely intentional, and I gravitate towards extremely intentional people. I remember every single person's birthday. Everyone I know's birthday is in my calendar, and it's because I love birthdays, not just mine. I love everyone's birthday, like everyone who matters to me. Like I want to celebrate them. We need built-in days of celebration. So yeah, romance to me is just thoughtfulness and not losing sight of how appreciative of the person you're with and trying to let them know as often as possible. And like, I just think romance is like one of the best parts of life. I have dated, like, you know, look, I was a different person in my last couple long-term relationships before several years of intensive trauma therapy, meds, like getting over my own insecurities and attachment issues. And I think like ultimately people who lean avoidant like me, it's because I was once a super anxiously attached person. And that's because I unconsciously had, especially like maybe in a romantic arena, like low self-worth, or felt that I had to earn love. And of course a relationship is going to feel taxing when you never feel safe in it, because you always feel like you have to dog paddle to be like worthy of this person who has already chosen you, you know? And I think like I experienced like, and you know, now I know I'm neurodivergent and like hypersensitive compared to a lot of people, but like a breakup, it's very difficult for me to get into a relationship, but when I do, I fully commit, you know? And now I think I can handle that much better. So, but I just don't feel the need to be in a relationship unless it's like something that really elevates my life. Like it's just so fantastic. It's so fun. We're best friends. We have shared values. We like doing the same shit together. Like we have fun just doing nothing, but also we're intentional about living our lives to the fullest, like doing fun things together, intentionally going on dates, like writing each other little romantic notes, making their favorite food, just stuff like that. And like, I know I'm really thoughtful and I love really intentionally. So I've learned over the course of my history and relationships and therapy, of course, I had many things to work on in myself. And I think I've done that. And I am now actually ready to be in a relationship if it comes along. My problem is I definitely don't put in any effort to make that happen because I'm really tired and insanely busy. And I am upset that I even have to be an active participant in finding the love of my life. That's up. I won't say that my idea of a relationship is Disney fantasy and that messed me up, because I think if you do the work on yourself to be really emotionally stable and to learn the tools to emotionally regulate and fall in love with your own life so that your life is actually not just a waiting room to finding love. Like for me, it's like one of the reasons I'm really motivated to go out there and go on dates with strangers and go to a bar on like my night off and try to talk to strangers is because I'm so fulfilled. Like the relationships in my life are so incredible. I don't feel any love lacking in my life. And that's a dangerous place to be, I guess. And also like kind of scary at my age. Like, you know, I'm in the window where people try to like treat you like, oh, you know, like the time is running out, bitch. Time is running out. It's fucking marriage musical chairs, you know? And that's just never gonna be me. Like I need to really slowly get to know someone and build something like really stable, but like just lovely, you know? That someone who's like my best friend and we're each other's biggest supporters and we have a ton of fun, but also cuddle on the couch a lot because I'm the most tired you've ever met, you know? So they need to also like to cuddle on the couch and also like to leave parties early, preferably Irish exit. If you're one of those people that takes 20 minutes to say goodbye to everyone and wants to stay to the last of the party, then we can't be together because, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it could be fine after like several years and we've grown into a groove and like I trust the hell out of them and I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll go to the party, but you leave later because I need to leave early. And maybe we just perfectly understand that each other. But it'd be more fun to be like a Bonnie and Clyde. It'd be more ideal where we both love to leave the party early. And we're just like so excited, even though we enjoyed the hell out of the party, but we just like to go to sleep and wind down, you know? That would be ideal to me, and I think that would be romantic. This is born from my friend Amy Silverberg, who I can't wait to have on this podcast. Her theory that relationships, like compatibility is based on when you want to leave the party. She and her boyfriend, who have a fabulous 5-year relationship, he worships the ground she walks on. She feels the same about him, just like really knows what she has. And they always leave together. Like, I love it. Anyways, back to Valentine's Day. Yeah, I just love, it's my favorite holiday and it has been since I was a child. Like, I just think it's so cute. I loved making the Valentine's Day for the class, like the mystery and excitement. Like if someone has a crush on you or you had a crush on someone and giving them a special Valentine. I have 5 nieces and nephews under 7 years old. And now they're just getting to that point where they have crushes. And I love hearing about it because like I always had a boyfriend in like kindergarten, preschool. Preschool is Ryan Hamada. Kindergarten was David Milburn. I think first grade, it was back to Ryan Hamada for like 2 years. Then it was Thomas Hopkins in 3rd grade. Yeah, like I remember all my little boyfriends. And shout out to them. Miss you guys. Hope you're well. Hope you're married and thriving. Or unmarried and thriving, such as myself. Marriage isn't a destination. It's not a marker of any sort of success compared to anyone else. Since women now are graduating college 2 to 1 over men. Also, women homeownership has surpassed men in this country. More women own homes in this country than men. So it's a lot of people, a lot of my friends, a lot of my friends have great marriages because I collect them in a list of my phone to show myself what an amazing marriage is possible, to collect examples in my real life of like when I observe them, like it seems great and it does elevate their life. So I always am like trying to add to that list in my phone because it makes me so happy to see people who have found it. But then on the other hand, a lot of my friends are starting to get divorced, or people that I know, or like acquaintances or whatever that I'm observing. A lot of times it's a mom who works and makes a considerable, either more than the man or a considerable contribution to the financial means of the family. And then they have so much domestic labor on top of that. Like all of the emotional and domestic labor of remembering to get a birthday present for this birthday party, remembering to get cupcakes for the school kit, like sending out cards, dropping off food for someone whose loved one just passed, like all this shit, and it just gets exhausting, So if the man isn't fully contributing in all ways in the way that the woman is, some men, not all men at all. Like I know some men who are such incredible husbands and make their wives' lives better as the wives do for them, and really appreciate the effort that they constantly put in and how hard it is to be a mother, especially a working mother. And also not being a working mother is just freaking hard. Like being with the kids 24 hours a day is no fucking joke. And it's such an important job if you're like a good parent, like a lot of my brother's friends, and obviously I grew up in a suburban area, so these men are raised like to want to get married from a young age. Like my brothers always wanted that, and to have children and like be a great member of the family. And my brothers, like, they spend so much time, or, did with Arj, go to field trips, every recital, while working their asses off at these jobs. They were changing diapers like day one. They were feeding like, just everything for their families. And a lot of their friends that I grew up with are the same way too. And like some of them were f***ing maniacs when we were kids, and then grew up to be really responsible, passionate family men who love their wives, celebrate their wives, and are also amazing, hyper involved dads. And it's like a true teamwork partnership. And that is really, really great to see. And I try to again, add all those people to my list. If you know any couples for me to add to my list, please hit me up either in DM or on one of my million clips, because I love to hear it and I love to add more to keep working on my subconscious beliefs and fears about marriage. But yeah, I'm afraid because it seems like a lot of people get divorced. And I guess it would make me less afraid if I didn't make divorce like such a scary thing. Like then it would be like, okay, you can just get divorced. If I didn't treat divorce like a failure, which it is not, I think that would be very difficult for someone like me to go through. And that pain is scary to me. It's really scary to me. Like I would just feel so sad. I believe if the relationship has run its course and someone grows and someone doesn't grow, or it becomes an unhealthy situation and you've worked on it, but like, you know, what for whatever reason, one person is not willing to make the changes to keep their relationship going, or they're just become incompatible through time and changing, that it is good to get a divorce. I believe that. I think it's also healthiest for the kids to get a divorce if you don't want to be together. But I don't want to get a divorce, okay? And anyone who's done it, I'm sorry. That looks really painful. And my solution so far is just to like stay on the sidelines and not get in the game. Another thing I need to bring up is the word Galentine's and why I hate it so much. It's the same reason I've always like railed against shows called like Ladies of Laughter or some shit like that. I was like just talking to my friend Amy Miller about this yesterday or the day before. And like Galentine's, the sentiment of it feels to me, I'm not saying you have to agree, like, oh, you poor single girls. I'm so sorry you can't get a man. You poor single woman. You spinster. You're so unchosen and unwanted. You're such a pariah in this common society. Everyone else has managed to pair up with someone, you know? That's what it sounds like to me. No, we're chosen all the time. Like, I could go on a date many days this week if I wanted to, along with a lot of other women I know, you know? And most of the women I know. Like, it's not for a lack of opportunity at all. And to like try and just make women feel like that as like this deeply rooted patriarchal thing that's existed for years. And that was only because no-fault divorce wasn't legal. Divorce was barely legal. You couldn't own property. You couldn't own a bank. You couldn't have a credit card. You couldn't have a goddamn bank account. So you had no real agency. It's not like your grandparents, most of them were in fucking love. No, they just had to get married for survival. Oops, sorry. I don't know if people want to hear that. I hope your grandparents were in love. Like, that would be so magical for you to descend from that. Incredible. You must love love, and I love love, but I just fear it in a way, you know, whatever. But I hope your grandparents had a magnificent old school love story. Like, I love seeing those things on Instagram where it's 92-year-olds like holding hands and the man's like, I loved her since we were 16 years old. We've been together 65 years, 70 years. You know, I love seeing that shit. It makes me so happy. So hope that was for you. All my grandparents were divorced. Okay. My parents are still together though, and they will be married 45 years in June. As I was saying, if we choose to celebrate with our girlfriends on Valentine's Day, it's still called Valentine's Day. It is not called Galentine's Day. It sounds like those comedy shows where they make it all women, like, and give them like these like horrific names like Girls on Your Period show, you know, or Funny Gals or something. And I just don't like that. You know why? Because it just sounds like we are different entities in the comedy space. Like, we don't do the same job as men. Like, a lot of lineups are all men. Or do they call it like crazy dickheads, you know, or like shit like that? Oh my God, these men have balls at 8 p.m., you know? And the way that they always do that to these women-only shows, it's just like, don't book a lineup of all women and don't make the title something stupid. You know what they sound like to me? I wish they would just be honest and say, look at these, they'd call it, look at these clams yapping. Name it that if that's what the type of shit you want to be on. Anyways, that's what Galentine's makes me think of, is those insanely infantilizing, like, embarrassing fucking show names that people do. And if you're hearing this and you put on one of those shows, I'm sorry. It's something you need to hear. I really respect that you like want to have shows and put on women and see women do comedy, and that you're like making a space for that. But just call it something normal, okay? We're not fucking like, I don't know, handicapped compared to men or something. Like, oh, we gave these little girls a show. Isn't that so kind of us? You know? Ugh! Anyways, yeah, if you do go out with your girlfriends on Valentine's Day, it's still Valentine's. We're just celebrating people we deeply love. You know, it's just not in a romantic way. And how fulfilling, we're just celebrating how fulfilling and like nourishing our friendships are and what they mean to us and how they sustain us so beautifully in this life. And honestly, me and my girlfriends, we constantly celebrate each other. And it's like the best thing in the world. Like we show up for each other hardcore and we celebrate each other's wins like they're our own. And we're there for each other in the low lows. And we're there having a great time together, like doing, you know, God knows what, any type of activity, event. So, yeah, I just love that. What do I hope for this year's Valentine's Day? This is what got me thinking about this. And I was like, I need to do an episode revealing my love for Valentine's Day. Last year, I was in Mexico with my family celebrating my mom's 70th birthday, and it was like truly magical. It was my last family vacation with my brother for all of us. I'm so glad we got that time together before he died. I don't think I want to go back to Mexico now. Just kidding, I do. I always want to go back to Mexico. I love Mexico, but it'll be really hard to go back there because I think for everyone in my family, it'll make us think of him. But I was like, oh God, like I'm starting to resume living because I've just been in such a grief stupor. And I was like, I wonder what I'm going to be doing for Valentine's Day. It's on a Saturday this year. I wonder what I'm going to be doing. Maybe I'll meet the love of my life before then. This 51-year-old guy messaged me yesterday asking to go to dinner. And I was so, I'll just be honest with you, like flummoxed that I am close to that I am at an age where it would be reasonable for me to go out with a 51-year-old. I was like, damn, I'm old. Okay. Well, of course, like, it's just, thank you, Kata, and all respect to you. My view, and especially having been in comedy for 12 years now and having a lot of experience with this, is like, I remember even when I first started and dudes like in their 50s or 40s would hit on me, and I would be like, in what fucking world? I'm like a young 25-year-old. In the common generalization, which is also like accumulated empirical data from my own experiences. Like, I'd always be like, these men are so entitled. Like, why do you think that, why would you ever think you're entitled to 25-year-old pussy? You know, that's just insane. And it still happens to me now because, like, I seem a lot younger than I am with my voice and, like, the way I dress with, like, a 12-year-old little leaguer skateboarder. And I get a lot of 10 years younger than me dudes thinking that we're the same age. And I'm like, oh, honey, what are you going to do for me? Like, what will we talk about? But also, like, I need to open up a little bit more. Like, I've found that a lot of the guys, that same thing that I'm attracted to, are between like 5 years and like 2 years younger than me. And I've never been interested in younger dudes, so I immediately like say no. But some of my friends have like married guys that are younger, and they're raised like differently. If they're not like haven't been radicalized by freaky men on YouTube, a lot of the men are kinder and more socially aware and have better understanding than women, and are really good partners, you know, devoted partners if they were like raised well or whatever. What I was telling my friend, this 51-year-old dude, like, I liked his assertion and he was very nice, but also assertive. And I like a really assertive guy because I'm scared, shy, and afraid of everyone. So like, I'm trying to work on this. I told one guy this year that I liked him, and he was like, Blair, we're best friends. Like, did he say best friends? Or we're very close friends or something. And he was like, we can't do that, like, whatever. And he was so nice about it, and it was such a non-awkward conversation. But I was like, oh my God, this must be how men feel all the time. It was so, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is like a common experience people have to go through, rejection. You know, it was wild, you know? But I was like, But then also, if you just wait to see who reaches out to you, you might not always get what you want. Like if you see something you like my attraction to men is so opposite than the way men are attracted to women. I'm not really attracted to someone unless I know them and have gotten to know them. I can recognize when I see someone that I'm attracted to without knowing them, but that happens very, very rarely. Like a lot of times I'll be like, oh, that's a good looking dude, but I'm not like attracted to them. Like a lot of conventionally good looking dudes, like I'm not attracted to them. Like unless I got to know them and like we really clicked or something, then I would be attracted to them. Like attraction to me is so complicated, and it's really, for me, it's like very emotionally based. It's not really like a looks thing. Like a lot of guys I've dated, it's just because they had some sort of like X factor. It wasn't because I walked by them and was like, they're so hot. And so I'm like rarely attracted to someone. And then my OCD, one of the questions on the OCD test, I'm talking about this on stage, but one of the questions was like, do you worry you're actually attracted to the same sex and just don't know? And I was like, oh my God, yeah, oh my God, every day of my life. I worry that I just don't know and that I'm actually a lesbian. This is why it's been such a complicated journey for me. Untangling I do have a lot of trauma, my sexual, everything. So I know that the way I have come to live in picking also a career that I love and adore is so consuming, and I just put my whole self into is a trauma response. And my lack of desire to go on dates and stuff and leave my home is difficult for that. And all my long-term relationships as an adult have been with comedians. And then when I got to a certain age, I was like, oh my God, I'm not marrying one of these fools. They're great to be friends with, but I'm learning as you get older, and you only learn this through experiences. I want to date or marry someone that has been wanted to get married their whole life and has been thinking about what it means to be a husband and what marriage is, and is very thoughtful about who they marry and make their life partner to be with at every point of life. Because that's the person that's gonna be with you in the middle of the night when you get a call that your parent died, or all that stuff. And there's nothing more painful than being in a relationship with someone who doesn't show up for you. That was my experience a lot of the times. Because comedians, and I love so many male comedians, are some of my closest friends, and they're great dudes who are super sweet, and the married ones love their wives. Not all of them, I'll tell you that, but I tend to gravitate towards being friends with people who really are in love with their partner and respect them, because I like to be around that and witness that, and it makes me help believe in men. But I've also been around a lot of men who do not respect the sanctity of marriage, and I'm sure that has also affected me, and that's been through comedy. And so what I'm saying is these male comics, we're all in survival mode for so long trying to make it. They're not focused on getting married. They're not focused on children and what that means. They're just trying to survive and make a career, which takes a fucking long ass time in comedy. It is not a quick road, but maybe besides 6 or 7 people a year. So I want to be with someone who's really thoughtful and intentional about what a relationship and marriage means to them. And like the guys that I grew up around, and my brothers, and my dad. When I was a kid, I just thought about my dreams. I'm oh, I want to act, I want to write, I want to do these things, my passions. I always thought about my passions. I was never, as a kid, dreaming about getting married, even though I always had crushes and it was so much fun and stuff. It was just never my dream growing up. Somehow it just wasn't my dream. I don't know if it's because it looked scary to me. A lot of the marriages I saw growing up, and it was a different time, obviously, where it was women's lives really just revolved around the men. The men were doing the interesting things, chasing their dreams. The men were the ones telling jokes. The men were the ones going on cool trips, all this stuff. And it just kind of seemed like the women like where I grew up really like revolved their lives around men. And so I think it naturally made me decenter men without even realizing it. And of course, not to say that I have completely decentered men, because I have had moments in my adulthood, as I've mentioned, where it was so difficult to get myself to commit. But once I got into the relationship, I was so committed. Yeah, like I definitely lost myself a few times when I was young, and I had to learn. Those were painful lessons. But anyways, I do feel I'm a much healthier, more embodied version of myself now, and I've done a ton of work. I basically spent all of my 30s like doing intense healing work, and I'm so glad that I did, because I just feel like fully myself now and open to love, and I'm working daily on untangling my ideas of men. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll meet the love of my life and I'll be married by Valentine's Day. JK, that'd be too fast. That'd be way too fast. Anyways, I don't mean to talk about all this, but I love Valentine's Day. I'm wondering what you guys are doing for Valentine's Day. If you have any romantic Valentine's Day plans or exciting, cute things that you're doing with your partner, please tell me, because it makes me so happy and I love to hear those stories. So hit me up, bitch. A DM, an email, a comment on this, maybe. That would be great, because I want to be inspired. I love to be inspired, bitch. Let me learn from you. Let me take a little bit of your faith. Let me see what's possible through my reticular activating system of positive stories and encouragement of how love can be absolutely incredible. Okay, that's about it on the Valentine's episode. Remember, ban forever the word Galentine's. Enjoy the day. If you are a gift giver, go ahead and get your partner a great gift if that's like something you're into and enjoy doing. But if not, just plan something creative that's really thoughtful and like that you don't do like every week in your normal life. Like, create special moments in your life. You know, nobody remembers when they die. Nobody is like, gosh, I wish I worked more. They're like, no, God, I spent way too much time working, and all the things that I remember are special moments with my loved ones that are like really the meaning of being alive, connection and love and appreciation and fun and gratitude. And there's like nothing is more exciting than being in love. Like, it's just such a great feeling. So I wish that all for you. And I ask you to open your heart to Valentine's Day. I love it. I love romance. And I have had some amazing Valentine's days in my adulthood, in high school, where because like I had a tendency to date like really intense alpha dudes, because those are the only ones like brave enough to chip through my ironclad walls. And it was just always such a highlight, and I would always feel like, oh, this is such a fun part of being alive. And I would love like writing cards and doing surprises for my partners as well. It's just so fun. It's so fun to be loved and to love. So enjoy your Valentine's Day. And if you're just with your gals, enjoy the shit of that too, because that's also true love. It is true love. It's like incredible. So Godspeed. I love you. Now we have to quickly move on and finish. In this week's Complainers Corner, you know, I like to complain. I know that most of my complaints revolve around noise. As you may have picked up upon, I am a tortured woman with noise sensitivity. But lucky for me, the loudest man in the world has moved in directly below me. 2 tenants have lived below me in the last 8 years I've lived in the building. There's not a lot of turnover because it's rent control. And I think these were old people, so I never heard them, even though the walls in our building, it's old, have zero insulation. So you can literally hear your neighbor fucking sneeze. So if they're just living and you can hear them, imagine if a loud person moves in, is completely unself-aware, like, holy shit, I'm in for it. Anyways, I've never met this man nor seen him. Like, we have different schedules, I guess. It's so odd. I don't live in that big of a building. It's pretty small. And I hypothesize that he's a musician, guessing by him singing at the top of his lungs. In my apartment group chat, someone goes, "Is someone playing the recorder?" And he's like, I'm losing my mind. Like, am I imagining it or is it real? And I was like, no, it's real. It is real. And this man is singing. He's blasting music so much. Like last night, I'm pretty sure he's a gamer too. He had a friend over, this faceless man I've never seen. And it was like 11:30 and I was still up working and he's blasting music and my walls were vibrating. My walls were vibrating. I was so angry. I was so angry and I was too tired and exhausted to go down there and introduce myself and find some way to ask him to keep it down without completely ostracizing myself and making myself seem like a huge bitch. I don't know. What a conundrum. Help me, God. So anyways, that was my complaino for the week. And lastly, as you guys know, we have the Galactic Gossip, baby.
Galactic Gossip.
Okay, today, wow. I think this is just like so interesting to me. A fact is that every 176 years, the four gas giants, Jupiter, Saturn, or Uranus, as kids, we called it Uranus, but on astrology TikTok, of course, I've learned that these elegant women refer to it as Uranus and Neptune align in a rare cosmic configuration that allows spacecrafts to use their gravitational forces, aka a gravity assist, to slingshot to the outer solar system efficiently, making the famous Voyager missions possible in the 1970s. This alignment happens roughly once every 175 to 176 years, creating a very unique opportunity for a grand tour, as they call it, of these distant planets with less fuel. Like, for how fucking savage we are, like bubonic flea nuking and decimating each other for thousands of years, we are really smart and tenacious beings. Like, how did someone even make those calculations? I don't even know. It's just mind-blowing. I love like brilliant minds like that. It's so impressive to me. So I just think that's really cool. A really cool fact that made me happy. Like, this is why science is important, bitch. We can't outlaw science in this country. JFK Jr., if you're listening to this, you are my #1 enemy for life, bitch. Okay, don't listen to my podcast. It's not for you. Get out of here. Oh, well, now we're losing our elimination status of measles after decades? What is wrong with you? You're not smart. You don't have any accreditations. You're not smart. No one's getting vaccinated. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I can't even think about this. I cannot even think about this. I know JFK, also, again, I need to reiterate, I know that JFK Jr. has nothing to do with the space program. Okay, that's not something that I think he's in control of. But I do deeply worry about the anti-science and the lack of funding for all this cancer research taken away, like that Jack Schlossberg's sister, Caroline Kennedy's older daughter, who was a brilliant scientist, getting cancer and dying is so ironic that a relative of hers is responsible for taking away hundreds of millions of dollars of science research and cancer research. Those poor people, that family, that just makes me so sad. Like, some people, like, I just did an episode with Sidney Castillo and he lost all of the members of his family. That family Caroline Kennedy has dealt with so much tragedy, and like, to have someone like be in active office of that older generation of Kennedy and to be opposite of literally everything that family has stood for. And look, I'm not happy, with my autistic Italian deep loyalty and absolute abhorrence of deception and cheating. I'm not pleased with JFK Jr. and his brother Bobby cheating all the time. Like, that's not cool with me. That's not fucking cool with me. And I just was telling someone this the other day, I'm still reconciling that they felt like leaders. And of course I wasn't alive, so whatever, I don't know. But in history, from what I've seen at my age, looking back and what I've learned, they seem like really, really good leaders who had their heart in the right place of what they wanted best for the country, despite being Catholic. Ever heard of that? And so I'm still reconciling now that like they were great public leaders with good intentions while also being absolute like criminals as husbands. Anyways, moving on. Okay, we're closing out this episode, and I just want to say, you guys, as I tell you every week, thank you so much for listening. This is just such a joy to me. I am so passionate about this podcast. I literally say it every day, but I just have to thank you. Thank you to anyone who's listening to this and allowing me to do this and to connect with people out there in a completely different way. I'm just so grateful, and I'm working with such great people. And it just feels like such a serendipitous, incredible opportunity that I've been given, and I just enjoy it so much. And that being said, I need to get these numbers up so that I can continue doing this. So if you can find it in your heart, please rate a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Please run those numbers up on YouTube, subscribe, comment. Anytime you leave a comment, you have no idea how much it helps clips and everything get visibility. And anytime you share with a friend or post on your story or anything, it helps so much. So thank you so much for doing that. Also, I don't know if this will come out. Oh yeah, it will come out. It'll come out 4 days before my next stand-up touring date, which will be this week on February 20th in Keystone, Colorado. One show only, so get your tickets now. Come see me. One show only. You only have one opportunity. Do not miss your shot. Eminem song. And then the following week after this, I will be at Commonwealth Comedy Club in Cincinnati, baby! February 27th and 28th. Get your tickets now. Tickets and info always, and my email list available at punchup.live/BlairSocci, baby. Thank you guys for listening. I love you all so much. I hope you have a great week, and even more so, a fabulous Valentine's Day. Whatever your status and whatever you choose to do, inject a little magic into it, baby. We need to be focusing on trying to inject magic into our day every single day. Finding beauty, finding connection, spreading love as much as we can to ourselves and others. That is how we make the world a better place. And again, we never know when we're going to be taken out. So let's go hard in the paint while we're on this earth, okay? All right, I'm psychotic. Love you. Bye.